reborn. I turned my back on the thankless heiress and chose her greatest enemy. Now she lives with regret. My second life began the day the Davenports asked me to treat Chloe. This time, I just looked at her in that wheelchair and said, "Miss Davenport, those legs are destroyed. No one can fix them." You see, in my past life, I was born with healing blood that could cure any illness. After I fixed the paralyzed legs of New York socialite Chloe Davenport, I found out the family had promised their entire inheritance to whoever could heal her. Chloe was forced to marry me, and Caleb, the man who'd gone to the Rockies to find a mythical snow lotus for her, supposedly lost his footing when he heard the news. He fell from a cliff, his fate a mystery. A year later, Chloe found Caleb's body frozen solid. She tried to make me bleed myself dry to save him. "If Caleb had just brought that snow lotus back," she shrieked, "we could have grown old together. You're the one who killed him. Ethan, if your blood is such a miracle, then bring Caleb back to life." I lowered my head and tried to explain gently, "Chloe, he's been dead for a year. I can cure the sick, but I can't raise the dead." She didn't listen. She just watched with wide, manic eyes as I bled to death. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on that first day. This time, I wouldn't let that tragedy repeat itself. Hearing my refusal, Chloe slowly looked up, her face turning crimson with rage. "You're a fraud. Get out of my house." I gave a faint smile and turned to her mother. "Mrs. Davenport, if the Hayes family says something is incurable, it's hopeless. You're still young. Maybe you should consider having another child." The teacup in Chloe's hand came flying at my head. I dodged it easily, and the $1,000 cup shattered against the floor. A startled Mrs. Davenport rushed to apologize. "Mr. Hayes, I am so sorry. It's just her condition." I waved it off. "It's understandable. I'm not going to argue with a disabled person." Seeing Chloe tremble with fury, I turned and left the estate. Mrs. Davenport followed me out, her voice a desperate plea. "Mr. Hayes, is there really no other way? The Davenports will give you anything you ask." The problem wasn't that she couldn't be cured. It was that I wouldn't do it. In my past life, Chloe stubbornly believed that a single snow lotus would have fixed her legs. If she'd thought about it for even a second, she'd have realized a snow lotus is basically a health supplement, not a miracle drug. But when she found out my blood was the real cure, she watched me die trying to bring Caleb back. Just before I died, I overheard the staff talking. It turned out Caleb never fell picking a flower. He realized he couldn't get the Davenport fortune, so he found a new sugar mama. Her husband found out and had him thrown off a cliff. This time, I wanted nothing to do with their drama. I wished them a long, happy life together. As for Miss Davenport's legs, I'm afraid I can't help. Chloe, who had wheeled herself outside, heard me. Her voice was syrupy sweet, but dripping with anger. "Mother, Caleb is already on his way back from the Rockies with the snow lotus. My legs will be fine. I don't need anyone else's pity." Mrs. Davenport sighed. "That flower will only help with recovery. It won't get you walking again. The Hayes family is your last chance." But Chloe was defiant. "I told you Caleb will cure me." I gave her one last long look, said goodbye to Mrs. Davenport, and left. As I walked out the gates, a black SUV pulled up. A woman got out and knelt right in front of me. "Mr. Hayes, please, I'm begging you. Save my daughter." It turned out that in the accident a year ago, Chloe wasn't the only one hurt. Her frenemy, Sophia Sterling, was also a victim and had been in a vegetative state ever since. After the painful lesson of my last life, I wasn't about to use my blood so carelessly. I refused. Mrs. Sterling just wiped her tears and left without another word. A week later, I got an invitation to a party at the Davenport estate. Caleb was back with a snow lotus, and Mrs. Davenport wanted me to inspect his remedy. At the party, Caleb was glued to Chloe's side. Mrs. Davenport found me, her face lined with worry. "I'm not worried his cure will be useless," she whispered. "I'm worried Chloe can't handle another disappointment. I've watched the hope just drain from her eyes this past year." Before I could say anything, Caleb wheeled Chloe over. "Don't you worry, Mrs. Davenport," he said with a grin. "I will absolutely get Chloe back on her feet. I nearly died getting this snow lotus." Chloe squeezed his hand, her face full of adoration. Caleb, as soon as I can walk, I'm going to wear the most beautiful wedding dress and marry you. I'll be waiting for that day, he cooed. Then, Caleb turned to me with a strange smile. I'm not like other frauds who just talk. I actually deliver. Several renowned doctors in the room, who'd all failed to treat Chloe, soured at the remark. That's some big talk, kid. You're not even a doctor. Even Ethan Hayes said her legs were beyond saving. I refuse to believe some amateur has the answer. Chloe just smiled smugly. I believe in Caleb. He will cure me. I couldn't help but let out a short, bitter laugh. Caleb thought I was mocking him. He gritted his teeth but forced a smile. Mr. Hayes, I hear you're the best of your generation, yet you refuse the Davenports and the Sterlings. Makes a person wonder if you can actually heal anyone at all. I raised my glass to him. In that case, I look forward to seeing you help Miss Davenport walk again. Seeing me smile instead of getting angry, Caleb clenched his fists. Are you mad I stole your spotlight? I know you want to marry Chloe, but I'm the one she loves, and I'm the one who can heal her. Chloe's voice cut in, sharp as glass. Ethan, even if you could cure me, I'd never marry a quack like you. The only person I love is Caleb, and I'm going to marry him. I wouldn't give you a second look. Watching their little performance was just irritating. Mrs. Davenport invited me to inspect the medicine. Since Miss Davenport has so much faith in him, there's no need for me to interfere. I turned to leave, but Caleb blocked me. What's that supposed to mean? I frowned. It means exactly what it sounds like. If you don't get it, look it up in a dictionary. Caleb's expression turned icy. Ethan, I dare you. Let's make a bet on who can cure Chloe. The loser gets on their knees, admits defeat, and is banished from New York City forever. I stopped and turned back. I'll take that bet. But I won't be treating Chloe Davenport. I'm going to treat Sophia Sterling. We have 10 days. Let's see if you can make Chloe walk, or if I can wake Sophia up. Do you dare, Caleb? The room exploded. Isn't Sophia Sterling in a coma? That's way harder than paralyzed legs. Exactly. If the Sterlings weren't paying a fortune to keep her on life support, she'd be long gone. If he can wake her up, it'd be a medical miracle. 10 days is impossible. Hearing the whispers, a sly look appeared in Caleb's eyes. I accept. With everyone here as a witness, you can't back out when you lose. A small smile played on my lips. I won't lose. Chloe sneered. Sophia's practically a corpse. You can't even fix my legs, but you think you can cure her? Ethan, if you admit defeat now, I might convince Caleb to let you stay in New York. My eyes flickered over her legs. Chloe, all medicine has risks. Just be careful Mr. Caleb's cure doesn't give you some new, interesting condition. And with that, I walked away. Caleb was a finance major from a middle-class family. The idea he could cure paralysis was a joke. That night, news of our bet spread through New York's high society like wildfire. People started placing wagers. To show her support, Chloe put down $10 million on Caleb. The next morning, Mrs. Sterling picked me up. At the hospital, I took out the blood-infused medicine I'd prepared and carefully helped Sophia drink it. In 7 days, she would wake up. Mr. Hayes, thank you, Mrs. Sterling said, her voice thick with emotion. Whether she wakes up or not, our family is forever in your debt. As she spoke, she started to kneel again, but I quickly helped her up. Mrs. Sterling, I just want to win the bet. Her eyes reddened. I heard. The Sterling family has also placed a $10 million bet on you. When you win, the payout is yours. Please don't refuse. Just as I was about to speak, I saw Caleb wheeling Chloe toward us. I was wondering why you'd suddenly help Sophia, Chloe called out. You're just after the Sterling's money. Caleb stepped forward. Mrs. Sterling, don't let him fool you. He couldn't fix Chloe's legs. How could he possibly wake Sophia up? You're going to lose your money and your daughter. Mrs. Sterling looked at him with disdain. I trust Mr. Hayes. I don't need your input, Mr. Caleb. Rejected so bluntly, Caleb's face paled. Chloe got angry. Mrs. Sterling, Sophia and I have known each other for years. You should trust me. Ethan is a total fraud. I held up a hand to stop Mrs. Sterling and looked at Chloe's legs. Chloe, haven't you noticed your legs have wasted away even more? She instinctively pulled the blanket over them. What are you talking about? After Caleb started his treatment, my legs feel much better. A flash of panic crossed Caleb's eyes. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's a normal reaction. In a few days, you'll be walking. You should worry about waking up Sophia. I just smiled. That day, after giving Sophia her medicine, Mrs. Davenport sent me a video of Caleb preparing his concoction. He added a few drops of a clear, unknown liquid from an unlabeled vial. Just then, I heard a stir from the hospital bed. I rushed over. Sophia, you're awake. Ethan, she blinked, her eyes focusing on my face. I was stunned. You know me. Before she could answer, the door burst open and Mrs. Sterling rushed in, throwing her arms around her daughter. I stepped out to give them some privacy. As soon as I was in the hall, Mrs. Davenport sent me another video. Chloe's legs had atrophied even more severely. It was definitely because of that liquid. I thought about my last life, how Chloe swore Caleb's snow lotus would save her. I wondered if she'd still forgive him after he utterly destroyed her legs this time. Over the next few days, Sophia threw herself into physical therapy and was soon walking on her own. The 10th and final day of the wager arrived. It felt like the entire city had gathered at the Davenport estate. When Sophia and I walked into the ballroom, the guests stared in disbelief. Is that Sophia Sterling? She's really awake. I put $5 million on Caleb to win. The Hayes family lives up to the hype. They cured someone every hospital gave up on. The murmurs made Caleb's face go pale. You actually woke her up, he stammered. I gave a cold laugh. You lost. Time to honor our bet. All eyes turned to him. A bet's a bet, Caleb. Get on your knees. Kneel and then get out of New York. Caleb looked up toward the second-floor landing, his eyes filled with panic. Just as he was about to drop, Chloe's voice rang out from above. Who says we lost? Everyone looked up. There, at the top of the grand staircase, stood Chloe in a stunning gown. A gasp went through the crowd. My God, Chloe Davenport's legs are healed too. It seems that Caleb fellow really delivered. If they both won, who wins the bet? A triumphant look flashed in Caleb's eyes. Did you see that? Chloe is standing. Chloe looked down at me from the top of the stairs, her expression smug. Ethan, you said I was incurable. But here I am. Are you ready to admit you're a fraud? I just shook my head slowly. Chloe, before, your legs might have been salvageable. Now, they're truly beyond saving. Fury lit up in her eyes. We'll see how long you can keep up that arrogant act. With that, she took a step down the staircase. I began to count in my head. 1, 2, 3. And on the 10th step, with a sickening thud, she collapsed, tumbling down the rest of the stairs. Someone screamed. Oh my God, what happened to her legs? The fall had torn her dress, exposing them to everyone's horrified gaze. The room gasped. How can her legs look so mangled? They looked fine a second ago. Her bones. They look like they've turned to mush. Where's Caleb? Didn't he say he cured her? Chloe lay on the floor, moaning in agony. Caleb, his face white as a sheet, stammered. How could this be? She was just standing. Mrs. Davenport rushed in and, seeing her daughter on the floor, slapped Caleb across the face. You promised me. Look what you've done. If her legs are permanently ruined, I'll make you pay. Security. Lock him up. 2 bodyguards seized Caleb. He struggled wildly, screaming, Chloe, I don't know what happened. I would never hurt you. Tell them to let me go. But Chloe was in too much pain to hear him. A sharp chop to the back of the neck silenced him, and he was dragged away. Mrs. Davenport stared at her daughter's legs. Mr. Hayes, what do we do? Can she be saved? I sighed. It's too late. Take her to the hospital for amputation. You might save her life. The moment I said it, Mrs. Davenport fainted. Chloe struggled to lift her head. I refuse. No amputation. Ethan, you quack. You're just doing this because I wouldn't marry you. I sneered. You give yourself too much credit. You know exactly what was in Caleb's medicine. Whether you live or die is no concern of mine. With that, I walked away. Sophia hurried to catch up. Ethan, did you know this would happen? I met her gaze, my own hardening. Are you blaming me for not warning her? She quickly shook her head. No, we were never friends. She brought this on herself, and frankly, I couldn't be happier. I was just curious how you knew. Seeing her flustered, I chuckled. I believe you. Mrs. Davenport showed me a video of Caleb mixing the medicine. One ingredient was an unlabeled liquid. When I saw Chloe stand up, I knew what it was. It's called flesh rot elixir. It literally rots the body from the inside out, but just before the final collapse, it grants a few moments of restored function to paralyzed limbs. Sophia looked confused. So, Caleb did this to her on purpose? I shook my head. I don't know if he was just overconfident or if someone was using him. I drove her home. As we pulled up, my phone rang. It was Mrs. Davenport. Mr. Hayes, could you come to the hospital? I don't know who else to call. Through the phone, I could hear Chloe screaming, I won't agree to the amputation. You're all listening to that quack Ethan's lies. Caleb said this is a normal reaction. Mrs. Davenport's voice was frantic. Chloe, the doctors all agree you need this now or you could die. I heard glass shatter. Mr. Hayes, she pleaded, the surgeons aren't confident. I was hoping you could consult. Sophia and I headed to the hospital. In the car, she finally asked, Are you going to save her? I rolled down the window, letting the cold wind hit my face. No. I just want to enjoy the sight of her living in hell. Sophia's hand froze. Ethan, do you hate Chloe that much? A humorless smile touched my lips. She owes me a life. I turned on the car stereo. At the hospital, Chloe had thrown all the doctors out. Mrs. Davenport stood outside, her eyes red. Mr. Hayes, can you please try to talk to her? Right now, I'm the last person she wants to see, I said with a sigh. She trusts Caleb, doesn't she? Have him try. Mrs. Davenport's face filled with rage at his name, but with no other choice, she had Caleb brought to the hospital. He held Chloe's hand, his face a mask of distress. Chloe, are you in pain? It's all my fault. A wave of agony shot through her, but once it passed, she asked, Caleb, my legs don't need to be amputated, right? The bones are just reforming, aren't they? Caleb glanced at the bloody mess of her lower body, then remembered his instructions from the doctors. He hesitated. Chloe, maybe you should listen to the doctors. I don't think your legs can be saved. Her eyes widened in disbelief. What are you saying? You swore you could cure me. He couldn't meet her gaze. Tears welled in her eyes. Could it be true? What Ethan said? That you did this to me. Caleb, why? It wasn't me. He shot to his feet, pointing at me. It must have been you. You tampered with my medicine because you couldn't stand seeing Chloe and me together. I had to laugh. Caleb, you need proof for that. I haven't been to the Davenport house since the day we made that bet. But you rushed straight there as soon as you got back in the country, he insisted. That was because I believed Chloe had once saved my life, I said, my voice tired. I wanted to repay that debt. In this life, I already refused her. I paid that debt in the last one. Enough. Chloe's scream cut him off. What's the point of arguing? Mother, tell the doctors to prepare for surgery. As they wheeled Chloe away, Sophia stepped forward and ripped a necklace from around Chloe's neck. Chloe, time to return what you stole. Chloe shot her a look of pure hatred. Sophia, don't celebrate too soon. I stared at the necklace in Sophia's hand, a sudden chill running down my spine. Could it be? When I was 6, I was kidnapped. I escaped with another little girl. To protect me, she ran out to lead the kidnappers away. I gave her my necklace, promising we'd meet again. But my family sent me abroad for 15 years. I only came back when I saw a news photo of Chloe Davenport wearing that necklace. But it actually belonged to Sophia. I had saved the wrong person and it cost me my life. Sophia narrowed her eyes at Chloe. Did you think I don't know the truth about that car crash? Once you're out of surgery, you and I are going to have a long talk. After they took Chloe into the OR, I looked at the necklace in Sophia's hand. Sophia, that little girl, that was you, wasn't it? She pouted, a playful smirk on her face. Ethan, you finally remember. I figured you mistook Chloe for me because of this necklace. I explained. It was too dark, I never saw your face clearly. But how did Chloe get it? At that, Sophia gritted her teeth. The Davenports and Sterlings have always been rivals. She saw I always wore it, so she stole it. I just thought I'd lost it. In that moment, a profound hatred for Chloe filled me. If she hadn't stolen that necklace, I never would have died for her, and I wouldn't have missed my chance to save Sophia. What was the truth about the car crash? I asked. Sophia took a deep breath. The Sterlings and Davenports were competing for a huge contract. I was about to close the deal, but Chloe played dirty. She orchestrated a minor car accident to delay me. She never counted on an out-of-control semi-truck. We lost the contract. She got what she wanted, but she lost her legs. She paused, then broke into a radiant smile. Ethan, thank goodness for you. Thank you for giving me my life back. Her whole face seemed to glow. For a moment, I was completely captivated. Sophia, they're out. The surgery is over, Mrs. Davenport's voice cut in. I walked over with her. Chloe was still unconscious. I looked at the empty space where her legs used to be and found myself eagerly anticipating the look on her face when she woke up. For someone as vain as Chloe, this was a fate worse than death. When she woke, she called for Caleb. Caleb, even though you couldn't cure me, I still want to marry you. But the adoration in his eyes had been replaced by fear and disgust. Chloe, the most important thing is for you to recover. We can talk about marriage later. The smile froze on her face. Caleb, are you disgusted by me? Before he could answer, Mrs. Davenport lunged forward and kicked him. We got the lab results. That vial contained flesh-rot elixir. You did this to her. Why? Mother, there must be a mistake. Chloe cried, looking at Caleb. How can it be poison? He muttered to himself. She told me it would cure you. How could she lie? Watching him, Chloe finally broke down. Caleb, it really was you. The truth was out. Sophia and I said our goodbyes. Over the next 2 months, we started seeing each other. One day, she came with news. Caleb had never gone to the Rockies. He'd spent a month with a wealthy businesswoman in exchange for the miracle cure. That businesswoman was someone Chloe had crossed in the past, and she'd used Caleb for revenge. When Chloe found out, she and Caleb had a massive fight. In a fit of rage, Caleb finally snapped. Chloe, you're a cripple now. Who else is going to want you? If it wasn't for your family's money, I would have been gone a long time ago. Enraged, Chloe struck him. Caleb left, but his new benefactor's husband had him beaten and dumped back on the Davenport's doorstep, publicly humiliating Chloe. That was the last straw. She snapped, locking Caleb in the house and tormenting him. One day, he fought back and put her in the hospital. Mrs. Davenport used the opportunity to have him committed. During all this, my feelings for Sophia grew. 3 months later I proposed. Sophia, you saved me when we were children, and now I've saved you. Feels like destiny. Will you marry me? Her eyes filled with tears of joy, but just as she was about to say yes, a furious voice shouted, You are not allowed to marry her. Chloe wheeled herself over, her eyes wild. Ethan, you can't marry her. I remember everything. In our last life, I wronged you. I know I was wrong. Please, come back to me. I realize now you were the one I loved all along. Please, forgive me. I froze. Chloe had been reborn at this moment, too. Sophia stepped in front of me. Chloe, Ethan and I are together now. You have no right to interfere. Chloe pleaded with me. Ethan, I know you were reborn too. Otherwise, you wouldn't have just let this happen to me. I know you hate me, and it's all my fault. But I regret it. I looked at her, my expression like ice. Chloe, What do you regret? Isn't this exactly the ending you wanted in our last life? Besides, I was never in love with you. If you hadn't stolen Sophia's necklace, I never would have helped you in the first place. I wrapped my arm around Sophia's waist and turned to leave. Chloe tried to follow, but her wheelchair caught a stone and she tumbled out. Ethan, I fell. It hurts. I didn't look back. At home, I told Sophia everything about my past life. Her face flushed with anger. Ethan, it's all my fault. I swear I will make her pay. But before she could, Chloe had me kidnapped. I was tied up, unable to move. Ethan, she said, her face a twisted mask of obsession. I know I was wrong. Why won't you forgive me? You only hate me because you love me so much. This time, I'll be good. Your blood can fix my legs, can't it? Once I can walk again, we'll have a huge wedding and beautiful children. Her words made my stomach turn. Chloe, stop dreaming. My blood can't regenerate limbs. Let me go, and I'll forget this happened. It was like she couldn't hear me. She pulled out a knife and crept toward me. This will only hurt a little. Just as the blade was about to touch my wrist, Sophia burst in and kicked Chloe out of her wheelchair. Ethan, are you okay? Honey, I was so scared, I said, pulling her into a hug as she untied me. As we left, Chloe somehow propped herself up and lunged with the knife, aiming for Sophia's back. I reacted instantly, kicking her away. Without her legs, she couldn't control her fall. She landed hard, and the knife in her hand plunged into her own chest. By the time the ambulance arrived, she was already gone. After the funeral, Mrs. Davenport gave up her fortune and joined a convent. The Sterling Corporation acquired the failing Davenport Corporation, solidifying their position as the most powerful family in New York. Later, Sophia and I had the wedding of the century. In my past life, I was mocked as a kept man who married for money. But in this life, I married the woman I truly loved and gave her the grandest wedding imaginable. As fireworks lit up the sky, I cupped Sophia's face in my hands and kissed her. This time, I would protect the one I was always meant to save, the one I loved the most.